What did you see missing in the market that you knew instinctively that Tang would solve?
There was a need for a big box luxury Asian restaurant.
It's hard to be in this industry. What keeps you motivated to stay here?
I absolutely love it.
Hello and welcome to another episode of One on One. I'm very excited because today I have Nicky van der Walt with me, founder and CEO of Tang and Miramar collection.
You said that so well. Thank you. People in Dubai struggle with my surname, so you said that perfectly.
I wouldn't have that problem, Mr. van der Walt.
Good. Thank you for having me.
No,
Good.
thank
Very
you so much
nice.
for your time.
Thank you.
It is really good to see you. It's good to sit down with you. I'm excited to have this conversation. I want to talk about all the things from Mzansi to Dubai, but I want to start first with Nicky.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. It's exciting to have reopened and relaunched. It's good to be in Dubai, and we're just in a great space. You know, we're relocating different countries, but you know, there are worse places you can be than Dubai.
I agree with you on that. How did you get into the F&B business and entrepreneurship in general?
Listen, I think I was born an entrepreneur. I remember one of my earliest memories is my parents went overseas in the early 90s for the first time, because you know of sanctions and apartheid,
yes,
people couldn't leave South Africa. So it was quite a novelty for my parents to go to Europe. It was like, I think 1990, I was 10. And they came back from Florence and they had like all these beautiful coffee table books of the Uffizi Gallery and Botticelli and whatever else. And I remember taking the books, cutting out the favorite paintings my parents liked, framing it with plastic on and selling it back to them. And I just always had this thing, and then also later on I had like a little, like a kiosk, a scusa shop in our passageway, which I would take all the groceries my mom had bought and try and sell it back to them. But I think F&B I've always loved. First and foremost, I'm very passionate about people. I love food, and you know, growing up, where I grew up in South Africa was very much a cafe mall culture, and just always loved it.
So when was your first real, because I mean, those are very, very strong entrepreneurial endeavors you had when you were growing
5, 6,
up.
7,
I fully support them. But when did you really say to yourself, okay, I can really do this. I can really make a living doing F&B entrepreneurship?
I think, so I went to go study law when I finished school. I matriculated a year earlier. So I was 17 when I matriculated. I was 17 when I went to university. I studied law. But I always wanted to go. I mean, I grew up in the 80s and the 90s in South Africa when Saul Kerzner was the man.
Yes.
I mean, what he created and how he transformed tourism. So you would know with Sunset Tea and I grew up with that kind of thing. And I quickly realized that I did not enjoy law. I still enjoy law, but I couldn't see myself as a lawyer. And I always wanted this yearning to have a coffee shop. It started off just with a coffee shop or a cafe. And I had another business on the side where I also was studying in IT, and I sold that and I made a bit of money, and I said, I'm going to do this.
Okay.
And I planned to do an independent restaurant when I was 19 years old. Never served a coffee in my life, never made a coffee. And God bless my parents, they were very supportive of my endeavors. And I thought, let me go to London to try to figure out how, to go learn the tricks of the trade and the ropes. And I remember the night I flew to London, I think it was 19. I actually bought a book at the exclusive books at the airport, cocktails.
Okay.
So when I arrived in London, I went to find a job and they asked me, what can you do? I said, well, I'm a barman. I can do it. So it was in South Kensington, I'll never forget, Cafe Flore. And the first service was a lunch service. And they quickly, within 10 minutes, realized that I'd never worked in a bar. But long story short, they took pity on me, and I worked for a bit. Then I also quickly realized at the age of 19 I could never work for someone. You know what I mean? I think those two things hit me hard. I came back to South Africa after having spent time working in 1 or 2 restaurants in London, and I set out I'm going to do it myself. And My father gave me some advice. He says, I support what you're going to do, but I think you should go in the direction of a franchise because it comes with the systems and it's a proven thing. And that still guides me today, and we'll get back to that later about systems. But there's nothing in the South African F&B landscape that really appealed to me.
Okay.
I couldn't see myself, no offense, but I couldn't see myself opening a Steers or a Wimpy.
Sure, yeah.
Although they make money, it was not where I was. And there was a new concept at that time, we're talking about 2001, called Primi Piatti, which was still not a franchise at that stage. And they said they had no presence in Gauteng, which is a province where I'm from. And like any 20-year-old full of confidence, I went to go see them, and I convinced them that they had to give me a franchise for Gauteng, which would not have any knock-on effect on them because they were Western Cape focused. And I launched my first flagship, the Primi Piatti in Rosebank, in 2001, 30th of January 2001.
Okay.
20 years old.
I had no idea that they were Western Cape.
Yeah, they started. They actually started. It was originally Nino's. Then Nino, old man Nino, who was the Italian guy, sold
I remember
that to
Nino's actually.
Yeah, so Nino's, Zanazzi. So my first foray into restaurateuring and my formal training is Italian, and I was trained by 3 hardcore Italian guys who drilled it into me. It was like military training, and a lot of what I learned there set a fantastic foundation for later on in life.
I didn't know that you were a Gauteng boy.
Born and bred, Joburg boy.
Very nice. Where about?
Originally from Bedford View.
Okay.
And then when I moved out, I'm in Sandton. But I mean, growing up as an artist, I'm just a Joburg boy because my parents always had a house in Cape Town. So I was always between the two. So I like to believe I'm from both. My first love will always be Cape Town, my family, and hopefully one day we can settle back there. But Cape Town's got a very special place, Mart, but essentially a Joburg boy.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, South Africa, South Africa. So I want to talk about the idea for Tang and how it came to life in South Africa. What did you see missing in the market that you knew instinctively that Tang would solve?
Well, let's go back. I think that journey started basically when I was a kid, and my parents would take us to a Chinese restaurant that I loved. And I was a very difficult eater growing up. I was like, now I can eat anything, and I'm very experimental. But growing up, it was a toasted cheese. And my parents struggled. They would take me to like Lingalonga and all these fancy restaurants. I would not eat anything but a toasted cheese. However, I enjoyed Chinese food as a child, and I had very good memories growing up with this one specific Chinese restaurant. And interesting enough, Dubai, I credit a lot because I've been coming here since 2007. But when Zuma launched here, when the DIC just started out, I think it was the first Zuma LPM, I can't remember. But I remember coming here in like 2010, 2011, and it was unbelievable. I was blown away by Zuma. But prior to that, I had visited the original Hakkasan in Hanway Place in London, which obviously is Cantonese, and I was blown away by that. I mean, the interior, the decor, the lacquer, everything else. And obviously, wherever I went in the world, I always sought out a Nobu. And like Nobu was like sort of the benchmark always. 3 quite distinctive within the Asian thing, but yet for me very complementary. And where my first branch in Johannesburg opened up, I actually had an office right on top.
Okay.
So I used to look down. It was a restaurant called Wang Tai. It was there for 25 years. Unbelievable restaurant. But it sort of gone stale, and then they never reinvented. And I always used to look down. At that stage, I was out of hospitality for a bit, and I used to look down and I'm like, why doesn't someone open up like a Nobu or a Hakkasan and whatever else? And then, I sort of looked at the early model of Bulldozer, when Evgeny Alexander, they used to bring international brands to Dubai, and license deals. So, and I quite liked that idea because I thought there was a very big gap in the South African market to bring international brands to South Africa. What I quickly realized is that our currency couldn't support it, because the upfront license fees are huge. And going back to the franchise licensing model, I didn't feel like paying between 6 and 8% of top line. However, I was in negotiations with Arcady Novikov on my first location, which is now Tang Sandton, and I was going to do Novikov. I thought it's a safe bet. Let's get a well-known brand in there. Not that anybody in South Africa knew Novikov, but I knew Novikov from London and whatever. And I thought I also liked the cuisine. Well, Arcady didn't speak English and I didn't speak Russian, but he articulated $500,000 up front and 8% quite clearly in English. And I thought, no. And my wife actually said, she said, Nicky, you can do this yourself. I've had this burning desire. And to answer your question, there was a need for a big box luxury Asian restaurant. There were one or two of my competitors who are friends that had gone the big box, big budget route, and it worked, and the market really took to it, as opposed to small mom and pop independents that were not really big investment things. And I think Tang, I didn't want to create a copy of something because I knew I was going to end up here and other places, and I wanted to be able to open up comfortably in the same city or right next to a Hakkasan, a Nobu, or a, and we didn't want to be a copy of it, so we set out to create a white box. What did I want it to be? And I would say the rest is history. Here we are today.
Fantastic. And how is Tang doing in its original location in South Africa?
And yeah, I'm extremely blessed. If I look back now, we actually are undergoing a renovation in Santa now. Only after 4 years. It's going on 5 years now.
Wow.
Because it's really taken a beating. The volume of people we've served, and Santa is so consistent. It's unbelievable. And we very much service the Johannesburg market there because we don't get a lot of international travel, sadly, coming to Johannesburg anymore. Whereas Cape Town is just going like that.
Yeah.
And I credit not only my team and the location, but I think Cape Town as a whole as a destination has really taken off, and we're well positioned to benefit from that.
So you mentioned before that you always knew you wanted to bring Tang here.
Yeah.
How did you always know that? I mean, considering how competitive, the F&B
Listen,
is in
I
Dubai.
think, Tasha and I actually watched your interview with Tasha the other day, so my nephew sent it to me. So Tasha and I we grew up together in Johannesburg, same suburb and all else. So I was always enthusiastically following her progress, and I remember before she opened up Galleria, I was with my wife. We were in the south of France and we flew back and we stopped over in Dubai, and I specifically went to go check in on her and whatever else. And seeing her ascension and what's happened to her over the last 10 years, it's been nothing short of it's beautiful to watch, and I tell her that often. I think for me, Dubai is a melting pot, and I said this in a podcast the other day. In the old days, London was the benchmark. I believe so. We used to always go to London to try, we bench ourselves or look at comp set, and other cities like New York, whatever else. And I think Dubai became that. Dubai, however, 5 years ago wasn't as competitive as it is now.
Sure.
I think COVID changed a lot. I think a lot of operators and brands realized, okay, there's a huge gravy train.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is some F&B hotspot.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I've always been drawn to Dubai. I've always loved it here. And I think if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. I think if you can make it in the Dubai dining scene,
Yes.
you can really make it anywhere.
Yes.
I think there are far less competitive markets which we are currently looking at and have been offered. But I felt that if you're going to go international, this is where you do it. And the time was right, for us to launch
which is very important timing here, especially. But I'm so glad you mentioned that, because as much as everyone just sees so many different F&B concepts opening in Dubai, that many are also closing.
Sadly.
Sadly.
I was discussing this last night with one of my guests who's a friend, and he's like, I'm talking about really big brands.
Yes.
And like 3-4 tables a night, which is sad.
Which
you know what I mean? I think Dubai, as much, it's a fantastic scenario that you've got all these brands coming. It's also cannibalizing itself. You know what I mean? And I think, had we not had such a unique location, which we have, I would have thought twice about it. I think, it's like you're coming to a highly competitive place, and I'm a highly competitive person.
Yeah.
I'm not scared to.
Sure.
And I'm a huge risk taker, but being cognizant of the fact that you've got the biggest brands in the world here, and there is a big growing market, but it's only that big.
Yes. Yes. Let's talk about the location, since you mentioned it. How did you find and get and acquire this spot?
God's grace, I swear. It's quite interesting. When just after opening up Johannesburg, I think I was like 5 months open. Bear in mind, that's all the middle of COVID. The V&A Waterfront came knocking on my door.
Wow.
3 times I declined the site, but I thought it was another site.
in your mind.
In my mind, I thought it was another site. So they kept on offering me the site, and I kept on saying no. And the leasing agent was like, is there something wrong with you?
Why is it? Yeah.
So I went up with my wife to go get because I make my own wine, to get my wine listed. And I thought, let me just meet the lovely, incredible woman from Vienna. Let me just meet her and politely say thank you, but no thank you.
Yeah, because she keeps calling.
Yeah, because I knew I was going to end up in Dubai. I knew I was going to open up in the waterfront. And when we went to go meet her, I was at the wrong site. And then I said, oh,
what the heck?
Yeah. So I quickly I put my poker face on and I think we signed it. But again, we knew it'd end up in Cape Town. We didn't go looking for it. Cape Town came looking. And I opened up on the 9th of December in Cape Town.
Okay.
2022. And February 2023, which was like a month and a half, 2 months afterwards, a gentleman approached me for a potential licensing deal with one of the big hotel brands to come here. Which I just smiled because I thought, okay, well, this is in a 3-4 year horizon for me.
Sure.
And I sort of knew that first licensing deal that they offered us, the location wouldn't work, but I was nothing ventured, nothing gained, and let's build the relationship. And I also realized that quickly realized that we're not in the licensing game.
Sure.
We own and we operate, we sign leases, we invest. We're too young a brand. And I don't think I ever want to go down that route. But so I came, I had a look at the location, and after the third location, I actually got a little bit irritable. And I said to him, listen, I've come here, we're in no rush to come to Dubai.
Yes.
For me, it's not city dependent, it's site dependent.
Yes.
That's what speaks to our DNA. All of the locations we open up, it's got to be an iconic landmark location, close to hotels, good footfall, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I put down the phone and he called me back 2 hours later and he said, how would you like full Burj view, full fountain view on the water, Palace Hotel? And I said, that sounds fantastic.
I like it very much.
I said, I'm flying out tonight. He says, no, they'll meet you this afternoon. I came, I looked at the site. I knew this is a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Yeah.
We chopped the deal right there and then. I think by the time I landed back, I had offered to lease and we sort of sorted out over a period of time. But I mean, that's how quickly it happened. It felt right. Yeah.
Wow. Let's talk about the design of Tang, how much involvement you had, and then I really want to touch on this winemaking skill that I didn't know you had. But let's talk about the insides and the outsides of this place.
Okay, so from the design point of view, I think the important thing was originally when we wanted to create, I never wanted to create an Asian restaurant that was too themed Asian.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't want to go create I choose with like a Hakkasan is Christian Lagre did the original design. I don't want to go create a copy of that either. One of my favorite architects is Marcio Kogan.
Okay.
He's a Brazilian architect. I love his work, and it's very much it's called modern tropical, and it's it's based on timbers. It's based on beautiful stonework. I don't like to use the word minimalist, but simple, clean lines. And what I wanted to create was a resort feel. So when you arrive here, we wanted a lot of palm trees, slats. Whether it feels you're arriving in a hotel in Bali, a resort in Bali, or in Miami, I wanted something clean and resorty. So when you arrive, you feel like you're escaping. And that was sort of my branding guys coined that for arrive to escape. So I think we dictated by clean lines. We don't want anything themed. We won't see anything Oriental. But you know what I mean? But it whispers it.
Yeah.
And if you look at Armani Casa and some of the designs there, Amman. If you think of Amman in Tokyo, the Amman in Tokyo was a big influence for us on this design here. Just clean and beautiful. And again, I don't think if you have to look at it honestly, you can't tell me there's another restaurant that looks like it. It's quite unique.
It's true. It's a beautiful space. I get the whole resort feel that you mentioned now that you said it. I can see it.
Good.
I can see it. How much adaptation did you have to do to bring Tang to Dubai from its origins? In terms of menu?
Well, I had to adapt the currency, which is, I'm used to paying in rands, and then obviously, I think with each shop or each build, you try and improve on the previous one, and you try and incorporate things that you couldn't previously from a budgetary point of view.
Sure.
I would just say we had a free rein to go create something special, and I wanted to make our first international location incredible.
Sure.
Yeah.
What's the menu like at Tang for those who have not come and tried it out yet in Dubai?
Well, it's I always say if Japan and China, in reality, are enemies, but on the menu they're perfect friends. So I think I call it the modern classics.
Okay.
We've all like stolen and borrowed a bit, and then took inspiration here and adapted it. So we do all the classics from black cod to Peking duck, but our versions of it. What's quite nice is that you've got your Cantonese flavors, which are big and bold, and you've got your beautiful like your ponzus and ponzus that come through from the Japanese side that are quite linear and acid. So we play with your palate.
Okay.
From our tataki, which would be a clean, beautiful dish, you can go all the way up to the yakinukis, and let's put it this way: we punch with flavor.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not scared of hitting, and I think we actually had to pull it back slightly.
Yeah.
For the Dubai market.
Yes. Yeah, I've noticed a lot of people do that.
In South Africa, it's bold.
Yes.
You've
very
been,
bold flavors there.
You know when you've been to Tang, and because you've got a very cosmopolitan clientele here from all over, you can't push the boundary too much.
Too much. What's your
Without having said that, what I also found, and I was quite adamant about that when we did the menu development, a lot of restaurants, whether it's Italian, Mediterranean, or Asian, they all start blending and they all start tasting the same. You know what I mean? If I can tell you, I've had the same burrata salad in 100 restaurants here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true.
And it's safe and it's good. And we wanted to play it safe, but not too safe. We want to stand out because when you leave, I always say this: no matter how beautiful the restaurant is, no matter how good the service is, taste and smell. That creates a core memory in someone that's going to want to bring them back.
Fully agree. Your favorite dish on the menu?
It changes. Jeez, it's like asking my favorite child.
I know.
What happens is I'm a creature of habits. I'll eat the same thing 300 times in a row. So it varies.
So
currently, I love the sea bass satay.
Okay.
So satay is, interesting enough, we often say we're not a Thai restaurant. We focus on Chinese and we focus on predominantly Japanese and Chinese. But we adapted the chicken satay, which is a Thai dish, but we use sea bass for that. I love that. Our tuna tataki, still blows me away every time I have it. All beautiful. Peking duck. My wife loves our duck and truffle gyozas.
Oof.
It depends on your mood. I think the menu, it's a big menu.
Yeah.
Again, what did we adapt? I mean, we cut about 20% out of our menu in South Africa for here, just to make it a little bit more focused. But even that focused menu is a big menu. So it depends on your mood. And also the way we design the menu is that if you're just in the mood to come have a miso soup.
That's what you'll have.
And a glass of Sauvignon Blanc, entry level, without having to donate a kidney. You can do that. And if you want to come have a beautiful Wagyu tomahawk and have a bottle of Petrus, you can do that.
Right.
And everything in between. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I would like to say luxury comfort food.
Luxury comfort food.
You always say it. It's like your
that.
classics. If you think about 30, 40 years ago, Italian food was like exotic delicacy in most cities.
Yeah.
In most cities all over the world. So you'd have Italian on occasion, maybe once, and then moved into mainstream, and all of a sudden you get frozen pizzas and frozen pastas when you go to a grocer, and it entered, it became like the norm. And I feel the same about Pan Asian food. I think it's become part of people's diet. It's not just something you go to once a month. I think you can eat Pan Asian food 3-4 times a week.
A week, yeah.
And that's what we try to achieve here.
You've been doing this a long time. You've had a lot of challenges. You've had a lot of success. What have been some of the greatest lessons that you learned, but you're also still learning because you're still growing?
I think to start off with, I think the foundation for any business must be the right systems and the right people. Where I've made the mistake in the past, I would say, is where I've either partnered with the wrong people, where the intentions weren't aligned.
Sure. Not
for malicious reasons. I just think there should be alignment from a partnership and an investment point of view. I think that's the most important thing. So people is your choice in partners, your choice in investors, your choice in the people that you employ. I think that is the most important thing.
Right.
And I think that having the right people in place and giving them the right tools and the right systems. I think that's for me the two most critical things.
Okay.
and having enough capital. I think what I've realized through the different tanks is like we've always had struggles in terms of going out on capital raising and stuff like that. And I think always, out there some investors, young investors, entrepreneurs listening to me now, it's like when you start a project, you always try and minimize, you know what I mean? Because you're too scared to go out. And the reality is when you go out and you raise capital, whether you're asking for 10 million dirham or 15 million dirham, it's the same ask. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rather make sure that you've got enough capital, because you don't want to get to a point in your project where you start having to cut corners. I'm not saying we have to, but we made sure we didn't have to do that. You have to start cutting corners in terms of having to compromise on quality, whether it's on your fit out or on your produce. My procurement people, I tell them straight in terms of our food. I said, get the best product first and foremost, then we worry about the price.
Yeah.
Don't go shop for the best price, because you can always fix the costing and the margin afterwards. You can never fix the quality.
Yeah.
And I think.
So let's talk about the winemaking. So how did that start? What kind of collection do you have?
I've always, listen, growing up, like Cape Town, the most beautiful winelands in the world. And I've always loved wine. And when I actually started creating the wine list for Tang 5 years ago, when I put together the wine list, I'm very biased. The wines on my wine list are wines that I drink and I enjoy. And, I saw within the rosé segment in South Africa 5 years ago, it's slightly different now, but 5 years ago, there weren't a great selection of rosés. So rosé was always sort of an afterthought.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
It wasn't, no one set out to create a rosé. And, the kind of wines that you drink on holiday will always be Côte de Provence style rosés. Specifically, and the ones that we had available in South Africa were quite expensive. Talking about the Whispering Angels and the etc. Great wines, but for a South African person, you buy from price point of view. And I just felt I could do better, and I do it from a, not saying that in an arrogant way, using that last example of the brand that I use. And very dear friends of mine are the Hamilton Russells, so I regard them probably as one of the top three, if not the best winemaking families in South Africa. And they couldn't make the kind of rosé I wanted, because they're in a cold climate in Hermanus, which is more conducive to making a Pinot Noir and a Chardonnay. So I set out to find a winemaker and find grapes, and I wanted to make a Provençal style wine, which started in the vineyard, not after the harvest. So stylistically, I sat down with the winemaker, Peter Carsons, hugely talented, probably the best rosé maker in South Africa currently. He makes other wines as well, but he's really fine-tuned the art of rosé. And I think for us, the wine starts in the vineyard before harvesting. You've got to set out to create a certain style of wine. I told him what I wanted, and we did our first harvest in 2021, and we launched it the end of that, and we're now in our fourth vintage, and then each one gets better. We learn from the first vintage, second vintage, but as you taste the different vintages, you can realize it's the same. They're not even cousins; they're brothers or sisters, however you want to say it.
You are really building an F&B. I don't want to use the word empire because it just sounds so overused, but what I mean to say is you have a vertical in every lane of F&B, it seems, within your...
I don't think it's necessarily by design. So I explained to you before, so the holding company, for my holding company, is Miramar Collection.
Yes.
And, my vision with Miramar Collection is to build, and also overuse, a lifestyle company. And to be brutally honest with you, I've got no aspirations to go build this 200 outlet empire. Do you know what I mean? It's not, I don't see myself in that. I'd rather do something a little bit more bespoke. We're definitely scaling. I'm not scared of scaling. I just think that my concepts and what I want to do are a little bit more bespoke and smaller. And I've got to be passionate about it. So yes, the concept of vertically integrated is unbelievable. Wine is a deep passion of mine. That's why I ventured into that. I'd love to go into farming back home, try and see if we do that. But you got to stay true to your core. I think also, I'm on this road now with Tang. I don't want too many distractions.
Sure.
You know what I mean? I find that there's another syndrome, which I'm sure that you've come across, is that people come to Dubai and they all try and emulate the guys that started, like, you know, what Sunset has built and like what's Fundamental has built. It's unbelievable. Even Tasha is building it at the moment.
Yes.
But they were first starters. You know what I mean? I think a lot of companies come to Dubai and feel like within the first 12 months they need to have an Asian, an Italian, a French, a Greek, a this, a that. And I think you sort of diluted.
Yep.
And nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. I mean, if I look what Sunset's doing, it's unbelievable. I mean, it's incredible.
But it was a journey, right?
It was a journey, and it was a lot. They started the process a long time ago.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I think you got to, you know, what my vision with Miramar is, if I say globally focused, I don't just want to say it's a UAE focused
of course.
thing. Yeah.
What kind of plans do you have for either Tang's expansion globally or other brands, perhaps?
Listen, Tang, you know, it's we get offered a lot of sites. You know, we get offered some interesting locations. Again, I would say I'm city agnostic, but site dependent. Okay, so definitely our expansion strategy is major cities. I can't see more than one Tang per where we open up. That's hence Joburg, we went to Cape Town we came here, and from here, you know, there's a different iteration of Tang in the pipeline.
Okay.
Which is lifestyle based, which hopefully,
Very
in fact, when it happens, I'll tell you first, and you can tell me. I'll give you the first scoop on that.
We got that on camera. No?
Yeah, and I think it's a beautiful iteration of what we're doing.
How exciting.
Yeah, very exciting. Simultaneously, I mean, as I said to you, my first love was Italian food and Mediterranean food, and I spent summers in France as well. So I've got this deep yearning inside of me for this beautiful Mediterranean coastal concept.
Oh, okay.
Which currently in Dubai there's a lot of, but I believe that that's something that my next F&B offering will be along those lines, and we've been incubating that for some time. But again, I've got to be responsible. We've just relaunched here. We're a young brand in the UAE. So I don't want to get ahead of myself, but you've obviously got to have a roadmap of where we're going.
I love the style that you carry of taking care of what you're currently doing and building before going and opening everywhere and doing all the things.
Listen, I'm an entrepreneur. Obviously, my mind races. I've got 20 million things I want to do, but I've been there, seen it, and you know, I've got huge investors behind me, or huge investment behind me, and I've got to be responsible to make sure that you get this right.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Get a good ROI or a reasonable ROI for the investors before you go on to the next thing, because I'm so scared of failing, because I have failed before.
Sure.
You know, and you can see, like, if you run too quickly, I just don't want to. Let's put it that way. Excuse my language.
No. You know, I wanted to tell you, Nicky, actually, I have so much of admiration for you saying that you are afraid to fail, because nobody admits that, and nobody kind of says it out loud.
Listen, there's this whole thing. Listen, I'm probably the first, like as I say, failure is probably the most critical and important ingredient for success. But people say, like, they embrace it. Yeah, you must fail. No. You mustn't rush out and try. I'm going to fail because I'm going to learn. No, you fail by trial and error. It's not something you should like run out.
Good chase.
Do you know what I mean? It's
I
like
fully
I
agree
said,
with you.
And because I have failed, I've learned a lot of lessons, and I don't want to repeat those mistakes.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And it makes it clear. I think people mustn't be scared to take risks, mustn't be scared to fail, but it's not like this bravado. Oh, I'm going to fail.
Yeah, don't go looking for it. Yeah.
You know, I've got a family. I've got employees that work for me, that have dependents. I've got investors. There's a lot to take into consideration when making every single decision. You know, my ego gets stroked daily when being offered. I mean, I've been offered amazing sites in London, although it's a very contrarian view, because people say people are leaving London.
Yeah.
You know, I see what some of my competitors are opening up there, and they're doing good business. You know, and you know, to be offered something like that is incredible, but you think,
yeah. Take it easy.
Tranquilo.
Okay, so Nicky, what kind of a leader are you?
I would say I don't like to micromanage. You know, I read this beautiful thing the other day, which I've read before. You know, come up with an idea, find the right people that are better than you at it, and let them do it. So, you know, I give people rope and scope to do what they need to do. I think I'm fair. I'm hard when I need to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
For no other reason, because I'm very passionate. You know, I often say to someone, if you come to me, and I'm talking about, if you're talking about a certain management level and up, I'll say, listen, you know, we're not going to split hairs over a salary of 22 or 25. You know, let's not split hairs over 2,000 or 3,000 rand or 3,000 dirham. If you believe you're worth that, if you tell me that's what I want, I'm going to pay you that. You need to deliver, and I'm not going to look over your shoulder every now and then. But if you don't do it, I will come down hard on you.
Of course.
You know, and I think it's only because I understand what's at stake. And this is deeply personal for me. So when I put someone in charge of certain things, whether it's a chef, whether it's a manager or anything like that, you know, whatever the outcome is, it's a reflection on me, I believe, and this is my livelihood, it's what I love.
Yeah.
So I like to believe that I'm a good leader. I love my staff.
Yeah.
You know, we were closed during this fountain renovation. And obviously, Dubai being the Dubai market, some had to leave, some had to stay. And like I walked back in and I saw my staff after like leave, actually like started tearing up. You know what I mean?
Beautiful.
And the guys that are with me, you know, I've got a good team. Wow. In all of my stores, I've got amazing people.
How do you hire? How do you hire well? Because that is a struggle everywhere, but specifically here.
So I think I'm fortunate. Like, you know, I think Danny Meyer said, always be recruiting, ABR, always be looking. I think I've been fortunate enough. By pure virtue, I've come across the right people. I'll give you an idea. Vixa Kalinga, who's the group executive chef, who's the chef who crafted this menu with me, whose palettes, I always say he's my walking USB stick, because I downloaded all of this on him, and he just sort of interpreted incredibly well and whatever else. He was the first chef that I interviewed.
Wow.
Even before Tang, when I was started the idea of doing a Japanese, it was originally, Tang, before it was Tang, was going to be like a pure izakaya, only Japanese, in that direction. And when I met with him, something clicked. So for me, there's got to be chemistry. So, you know, it's not that it's impossible, but having 3 different restaurants in 3 different cities, in 2 different countries, you know, you can't do every single hire yourself.
No.
But I do believe, like, in certain key positions, where especially touch points when it comes to that's going to leave an input on the guest, I want to be involved in that. So yeah, I mean, I think I've been quite lucky like that.
You had a killer opening party here when you opened.
Like 2. The first one was a black coffee. That was insane. That was off the charts.
That was incredible.
Off the charts.
What can we expect from Tang Dubai in the coming months? Are you anything exciting on the horizon you want to talk about?
Yeah, I think, you know, we reopened on the 1st of October. So we opened January. So we opened January, February, March. April, the fountains got shut off. End of May, we said, listen, it's not conducive for us as a new business to trade under these conditions. So we relaunched recently. You know, we're doing our Thursday nights, and, you know, I think originally we are a high energy restaurant. You know, the Dubai market is high energy naturally. So people do want the DJ, they do want their thing. And I think, you know, I don't want to go down the road of being only that. I want to be known first and foremost as a restaurant.
Yes.
I want to be known for my food. It's quite interesting. The last 2 nights we've had like return guests. People come like the one night and they come the next night again. Nice. Which in Dubai, if you think about it, with people spoiled for choice,
rare, very rare.
People coming one night and then coming back, they speak, I think, to the food and the service. So what can you expect from Tang? We're just going to do our thing. You know what I mean? We've got an idea of where we want to go, but you've got to birth it properly and
of course.
Not rush. As I say to my investors, I said, we're here to build a landmark for the next 20, 25 years. And I think to quote another restaurateur, Joe Bastianich, I read his book the other day. He said it's better to be medium well for 15 years than sizzling hot for 6 months.
Oh, that's nice.
Do you know what I mean? Now, I think what we want to convey to people is that come to us for food. Right. Come to us for a beautiful ambience. Come to us for service, and I mean, if the other place you can go to for the bongo drums, we do have that and whatever else. But you know, if you want really good food, you want an amazing setting, this is who we are.
And how do you unwind? Whether you are in South Africa, Dubai, wherever, what's Nicky like when he's offline?
My family, first and foremost. I'm obsessed with my family. That's why I couldn't. They had to move with me to Dubai. When I switch off, I switch off. I think, you know, I had this discussion the other day I don't have cameras on my phone. You know, when I leave the restaurant, I leave. I can't go sit and like, I know a lot of operators do that, and God bless them, and they probably do a better job than me. But I believe that I've got the right people in place. You know, sometimes, you know, so when I leave, I really switch off. My wife and I, we try and do lunch dates once or twice
That's so cute.
a week. I nag her. I love taking my kids, like 2 days ago during the day, because they were midterm break.
Yeah.
We would go to Al Nasim, go chill by I mean, we're very blessed in Dubai from a lifestyle point of view.
Yes, and you have a beautiful family.
Thank you. And we love traveling. And I love traveling with my kids.
Yeah.
I love showing them the world.
That is beautiful.
Absolutely love traveling.
What do you want to be remembered for, personally, professionally?
My legacy I'd like to leave behind is a good father and a good husband, a good leader. You know, I mean, I think, you know, I'm not, yeah, I think those are the core values that I've got inside of me, and that's, you know, those are the kind of things that guide me with speaking to staff, like, you know, it comes from here.
Mm-hmm. What is the thing that keeps you, I know you spoke a lot about people, what keeps you motivated in, because this is a very hard industry. I mean, it looks so glamorous, and people see the opening parties and, you know, the famous DJs and all of that, and those are all great things, but it's a very hard business. It's hard to be in this industry. What keeps you motivated to stay here?
I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. And, you know, it's not for everyone. Mm-hmm. You know, you've got to be a master of many skills to be a restaurateur. You've got to be an accountant. You've got to be... You've got to understand chef, you've got to be an HR, you've got to, I think, but all those things is what makes it exciting for me. Mm-hmm. And what keeps me going is I've got a vision of what I want to create. I want to leave a legacy behind, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I've got so much I still want to do, and I'll give myself time to do it. And just improving, I think that's the most important thing. You know, I always say, we've won a lot of awards. You know, we won another 2 awards now recently. You know, those are great because it's a scorecard that you're doing the right thing, but I constantly feel that we can improve. You know, I feel like I can improve myself. I've got a lot more that I can give, and there's a lot more I want to do. I want to do a hotel. I want to, you know, there's a lot. It's exciting. So again, it's not for everyone, but I love it. Absolutely,
but it is for you.
Yeah,
it is for you. Yeah. Everybody who is as successful as you usually has some kind of a routine, or not. Are you a routine person?
Incredibly.
And what's your routine like?
I love mornings to myself.
Okay.
I think one of the reasons why I enjoy also the way I do it is I can't wake up and go into a meeting at 8 o'clock or go into an office. It's, I said people know, I don't take a meeting before 11 o'clock. So I enjoy my mornings to myself, and I do the same thing. I wake up, I have coffee in bed with my wife, do the news, do my emails. I've started journaling lately, which I love it. So I highly recommend 5-minute journals for people out there.
Beautiful.
And it's just you go through your process of gratitude, focus, what are the things that you need to do. I train every single day of my life, or I try at least every single day. Whether that's going to gym, whether that's running, swimming, an activity.
Something,
Yeah, I try and do that every day because that's like also sets it. I listen to podcasts while I do that. When I do get interesting, I can't sit at home and read a book. Because I travel a lot, I need to be in a plane. I think also I've got ADHD. I know it's like a buzzword at the moment, but you know, I find myself, I'll have like 3 magazines, iPad, newspaper, and somehow through all of that,
you're getting it.
I'm getting it. I'm absorbing it. Yeah, I think routine is key because routine builds discipline, and discipline builds consistency. And I think for me, if you do the same thing over and over and over and over, you know, it's like, for me, at least that's important.
Excellent. Yeah, I love that you started journaling.
It's changed my life.
It really has.
Yeah. And you know, you just, even if you say the same thing over and over and over.
It doesn't matter. Just get it out.
You know, just saying, what are you grateful for? And I think this goes back to, I went through a very difficult time in 2018, 19, just before COVID, when I had a hotel project that didn't work out the way I wanted to. And I literally lost everything. I mean, it was like tough. And what got me through it towards the end, and that really made me pick myself up, is like, instead of sitting there and focusing on the negative, I just started saying, what am I grateful for? I said, I've got, at that stage I had 2 kids, I've got my health, I've got, you know, and you just start focusing on that, you know, you're not in a wheelchair, touch wood, you're not, you know what I mean, you've got abilities and stuff, and I think just focusing on the positive and being grateful changes a lot. And starting your day like that, I think starting your day with that. I also believe in the eat the frog concept. So
what is the eat the frog concept?
Have you never heard of that?
No.
So the most try to do the most difficult thing first.
Okay.
Okay, so let's say, I don't know, I don't fire people, I hate firing people. I can't do that. But let's say there's something horrible that you need to tackle, do that first.
Okay.
So I'm not saying wake up and do it, but after you've done your morning routine, if you know there's something, if there's a call that you need to make, if there's whatever that difficult thing is, do it.
Okay.
Do it and get it over and done with.
Okay.
And then because you don't have this thing sitting on top of you, and you can actually get it out of the way and focus.
And they say,
9 out of 10 times it's not as bad as you think it's going to be.
That's actually really true and important to reiterate because it's in your head.
100%. Then you make it 10 times worse.
Yeah. But they call that eat the frog.
Oh, that's
Why do they? It's such a weird, very weird phrase.
Because you don't want to eat a frog. You don't want to do it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Do the thing that you don't want to do first.
Right, okay. Very good advice. And your routine
well, I try
is
aspire to. Sometimes you do like sort of...
Yeah, push it aside for later. Let's do the nice
You psych yourself
first.
up for it, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Nicky, okay. We're going to finally put this to bed. Braai or barbecue?
Braai, 110%. Jesus, that's not even a hesitation.
Matcha or coffee?
Coffee.
Bunny chow or sushi?
Sushi.
Day or night?
Day. I'm a day person.
Red or white?
White.
Deep house or R&B?
Sure, that's a tough one. Depends on my mood, but I mean, instinctively I'll probably go with R&B for the classics.
Okay, very nicely done. And that's the end
That's
of
it.
it. That's it. That's
You can carry on, I like that.
These are good questions, yeah?
Yeah, good. Very good.
Nicky, it's been such a pleasure sitting
It's
down
an honor
with
to be
you.
on your show. I've watched few of your interviews and it's been an honor to...
No, the honor
thank you so
is
much.
ours. It's been a pleasure sitting and getting to know you.
Thank you. And then, deal is a deal. The next announcement, you'll know first.
You got it. I would actually be so honored.
Deal.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Nicky.
you, man.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.